All right, this is Boxing with the Truth, and I am the Truth. It's January 17th, 2015, and today we are interviewing former heavyweight champion Big Michael Grant. How you doing today, Michael?
Pretty good, Truth. Everything is going well. How about yourself?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm excited about this interview. I followed your career. I've been a huge fan your entire career, and it's an honor to do an interview with you.
Great, man. I'm glad that you basically get in contact with me, and we have an interview together as well.
And just to make it clear so all the boxing fans know, you are still active. You are not retired. You are still fighting.
That is correct.
Okay, so I just want to go over a couple little stats real quick. You do fight at heavyweight. Right now you are age 42. Your pro record is 48 wins with 36 knockouts and 6 losses, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, and according to BoxRec right now in the U.S., you're ranked 25th, and in the world rankings, you're ranked 70th.
Okay.
I don't know if you were aware of that or not, but I know a lot of you guys don't even follow the rankings, so.
I wasn't aware of it at all.
Okay, and just so a lot of people know, Michael Grant has been around for a while. So some of these names that you hear, some of these guys are retired and gone that he's fought. So, I mean, you fought Francis Botha, you fought Tomas Adamic, Dominic Gwynn, Jamil McCline, Lennox Lewis, Andrew Galata, Lou Savarese, David Izon, Corey Sanders, Alfred Cole, Lionel Butler, Jorge Luis Gonzalez, Obed Sullivan, and then recently, obviously, Carlos Tobkin. How you say his name? Tobkin. And I mean, so I mean, the list goes on. I mean, your resume is obviously, you've never tried to duck anybody. You know, you fought a lot of big name fighters, a lot of guys that have gone on to do things in the sport. So, but the interesting thing is, a lot of people don't know is your career didn't take the amateur path that a lot of guys did to get to the level that you're at. I mean, you've actually only had 12 amateur fights, correct?
That is correct.
And your record is 11-1, right?
That is correct, yeah.
So, and I want to touch a little bit on that. You were actually a 3-sport star in high school, and boxing wasn't one of the sports. I mean, you played baseball, basketball, and football, and I mean, from what I've read, is you excelled in all 3, right?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, I did.
I mean, you were actually a pitcher in baseball, and the Kansas City Royals actually, did you do an actual tryout for them?
No, actually, what happened, it was an offer that they came to me with in, what was it, 92? Yeah, 92, 91, when if you agree to the offer, you couldn't play college ball, so, I mean, I could still go to college, but I could agree to the college ball and agree to the offer that they made to me at the time to pitch. So that law wasn't straightened out until 96, where basically a kid can play baseball in pro and also go to college. So, well, actually, back then in 92, that offer was made to me, and I couldn't do both at the same time.
So let's talk about that a little. You ended up playing football, though, in college, and you were pretty good. I mean, you could have possibly played in the NFL, right?
That is correct, yes.
Because I actually read a statement, and I'm not sure if you've ever read this statement. Let me know if you have or not. But it was by your athletic director, who I believe also was your head coach, Terry Lewis, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, he made a statement that said, I thought Michael Grant was going to be a #1 pick in the NFL draft as a tight end.
Yes.
Were you aware of that statement?
Yeah, because I was actually All-State Illinois tight end, and played defensive tackle as well, defensive end. So I was All-State tight end.
So have you ever thought through your whole boxing career if you would have took that path and ended up in the NFL? Do you ever sometimes look back and think that you made a mistake, or are you happy with the career that you've had in boxing?
Well, actually, yeah. I had friends when I graduated and I went to school in California. One of my roommates was the guy who we know today named Keyshawn Johnson. So what happened? Keyshawn used to, drive me back and forth to school for a number of times, and then, that was the direction that I was going in. And then it caused me 1 year to redshirt, and while I was redshirting a year from before academics, I started boxing. So I was looking for something else, or activity to get involved with, so I started boxing. And so I don't think that it was a bad choice that I made by not continuing football. It's just that boxing also was another avenue that I wanted to basically help the family out on as well, because the things that was offered in boxing, I wasn't ready for the football terms at that point, because I didn't want to. I got offered by one of the scouts of the Rams that came on campus and saw that they already knew who I was. So when they came on campus, they gave me an offer. What was just going to try out with the Rams? And I didn't take the avenue because I wanted to pursue my education at the time. And so I kind of denied the opportunity for me to go to try to practice with the Rams. And that was back when we were with the LA Rams, back in 93, actually. No, I'm sorry, that was 92. And so from that point on, I don't think it was a bad move for me at all. I just collect my thoughts, man, and the offer that was made to me, and with the boxing, which the first guy who got involved with, his name was Richard Steele, who we all know. And so what happened? I came to Vegas, and Richard Steele showed me, he made an offer. My buddy said, actually, my buddy made it first while I was there in the hotel room, because I was only 19, so I couldn't be down in the casino gambling. So he said, my buddy's downstairs, and my buddy's up in the room, and he already started to himself. Because my first boxing match that I saw was in Vander Holyfield and Ridley Bull. And so my buddy told Richard Steele, my buddy likes boxing, and he told him, basically gave him my numbers and my size. He's like 6'7", 280 pounds, big kid and everything. And so Rich said, yes, it's great. They said, can I see him? And so when he saw me, we had dinner that evening. And then at the dinner table, so Rich still made me an offer. He said, you give me 2 hours a day, and in the gym, I'll make you heavyweight champion. But well, and here I am at 19, getting an offer again. There's president right in front of me. Like he's basically, if you move to Vegas, I give you an apartment, I give you a car, and I put money in your pocket every month. Just give me 2 hours a day at the gym, and I make you heavyweight champion of the world. So I was like, wow. So I said, no, that's not nothing that I agreed to right then and there, but it took me probably about a month to get my thoughts together and really consider it be an offer at the time. And then I came back with him there. I said, I'll take that offer. And the opportunity for me to basically help me out, help my family out, and basically let my mom know that, hey, Mom, I'm a man now. I make my own money, so don't send me no more money for schooling. So she didn't agree with that, but it was so much she can only do at the time, because I went on made the vow to train and box, and but John Johnson prevail and be the best, one of the best receivers in the game, and put himself on the stage. That he basically made a future for himself. So also there's other guys that I went to school with that made themselves a future as well in football.
Okay, are you and Keyshawn, are you guys still friends? Do you still have a relationship?
Well, actually, we have a relationship, but I haven't talked to Keyshawn in quite some time.
Okay. Now, I actually did know about the Richard Steele thing, and for the fans that don't know, Richard Steele is actually a very well-known professional boxing referee. He's done a lot of title fights, did numerous fights on TV. So that's a pretty huge deal that Richard Steele kind of took you under his wing and offered you this opportunity.
That's correct, yeah.
So I just want to touch briefly kind of on how you met your wife, Tanya. I heard this story that you actually met her in a 7-Eleven parking lot and you were shadow boxing, and when she came up and was introduced to her, to you, that you actually lied to her and said you were already a professional boxer.
It's been so long ago, actually, but a lot of it is true, but I didn't think that I showed her that I was pro yet. I may have shared that I will be turning pro at some point in time, but
okay, well, I'm just going off of a statement that I read that she made. So that was the story she told in an interview I read.
Oh, I got you.
So if the wife says it's that way, it probably went that way, Michael, right?
I guess, man.
But no, also there's some other interesting facts that I just wanted to touch on briefly. So some people might not know this, and I like to learn little facts about different boxers and stuff that you wouldn't normally think. You actually play the drums and the piano too, right?
That is correct.
So now you actually were raised in Chicago, but then you lived in Norristown, Pennsylvania for a lot of your career. Do you live actually in Atlanta now?
Yes, actually, that is correct. I'm born and raised in Chicago. Then when my boxing career took off, I moved to Philly, and lived in Norristown, Pennsylvania. And I actually got myself affiliated with a church that I based myself with, and I started playing drums for the church because that was an ability that I had when I was younger in Chicago. I played drums at a church in Chicago.
Okay. I just want to briefly touch on the Lennox Lewis fight.
Okay.
I mean, obviously, everybody that's seen it saw what happened, but is there ever a reason why there was never a rematch made for that fight?
Well, I guess it all came down to the powers that be at that point in time and who I had in my corner. I'm not sure of how it should have been a rematch, but there wasn't. I mean, because you can't. When we all see how it was displayed, how my head was held from an illegal punch being thrown from Lennox, and then the very next fight that Lennox takes, he fights the kid Tour, and then the referee clearly states in the locker room to Lennox, you can't hold your head and do the punch. You can't hold their head and do the punch down low like that. So that was clearly the punch he knocked me out with. So I'm like, okay, I got you. So they made a point to make that clear to him, which it could have been a clear enough point for me to have a rematch on, but therefore it didn't happen.
No, and that's why I brought it up, because I've seen it several times, and I thought that whole downfall of that fight all started on an illegal punch, and that's why I wondered why there wasn't enough controversy and enough argument to be able to get a rematch.
Right.
Also, I wanted to touch on another fight I believe this is the fight you broke your ankle in, the Jamil McCline fight. How come a rematch was never made of that fight as well?
Well, you know what? I'm not sure of everything that took place on them because I had just transferred trainers, so I had just hired Teddy Atlas to be my corner, and I had just got traders, not trader, but one other I did some teaching about who I got rid of Don Turner, and I picked up the Teddy Atlas. And basically, here's my theory, and you learn it as you basically go in the game. But when you're making a transition like that from a guy who you've been taught all the time the one way, and then you get in with somebody else. You get in the bed with somebody. You get in the bed with somebody else, and that's great enough, but you can't do it on the stage. You have to do it with smaller fights, so you can basically understand the trainer and see if you guys can click together as well. So, my mistake came from when I picked up Teddy. We didn't do too many, smaller fights together. When I was, when the offer from Jamil McCline was on the tape for us, it basically went from the championship fight to it was really influenced to a Jamil McCline fight. And so I'm like, that changed trainers, and we took it from there. So that wasn't a good move on my part because I was still learning bits and pieces of the game and what actually happening for myself. There was no way that I can understand or read how Teddy operates his style of training. So, I was kind of just like, and I broke my ankle and everything from in the fight. I knew that the fight was on. It should have been postponed because I explained to Teddy that I sprained my ankle because I had sprained it in camp. I sprained my ankle in camp, and I told Teddy, I sprained my ankle, and he said, "Well, we're still gonna take this fight because just from fear alone, Jamil is not ready to take you." So I was like, "Well, it's not about fear, man. It's about other issues." But anyway, the Teddy had the deal, and the downtown deal was a good. It was a cool move, but it was a bad time. It was bad timing for me because, like I said, I put Teddy on the stage that downtown just jumped off on, and I put him on the stage that I took downtown from, and you don't do it if you learn enough to train this trade. So
okay, so overall, how do you think your relationship was with Teddy Atlas?
Well, it's cool. I mean, I can still, still speak on good terms with him and his family, and his daughters, and his daughter and his son. It was a good experience with them, but it was just, I don't think that Teddy was a good fit for me.
Okay.
And so, but obviously the relationship because we're men, we're good. The relationship was good. I support Teddy in all his foundation and his foundation that his father created. So, basically we're men, so we can, Teddy's a good dude.
Okay. I just want to bring up briefly some of the titles that you've held, in case some fans don't know. You've had the IBC heavyweight title, the NABF heavyweight title, the NABA heavyweight title, and the WBF world heavyweight title, correct?
That is correct.
Okay. Now I want to just touch a little bit on some fighters that, for whatever reason, that you just never met in the ring. And why did you never fight Shannon Briggs?
You know what? That offer was basically on the table. Two times the offer came to me. One time with HBO, basically over the operation when he signed with the HBO, and I guess he talked to Mark Wahlberg and he told me I think Mike's going to be Shannon. So just like that. And so then a week later, I get a phone call to play golf. So I was kind of puzzled by that. So okay. So and then from that point, then and like I said, that was 1.5 for me and 1 million to Shannon. And then later on, a couple years later on, I want to say probably about back in 2000 and that was 2005, no, 2007. I'm sorry, 2007. I apologize. In 2006, hold on, 2006 or 7, I got offered again for Shannon in Florida for 100 and no, actually for 75,000. I was like, huh? And so it just came down to money. That's all. And so I kind of turned it down because I'm like, Shannon was still a draw. I was still a draw, and 75,000 that wasn't a draw at all. So I denied that because I found out that the promoter was kind of robbing me on that situation as well. It was for 75,000. Then he said, forget it, Mike. I'll just give you the whole purse, which is 150,000. I was like, okay, thank you. And then you can just you can bring your pink slip too because you're fired. So I think the promoter at the time was Louis de Cuba. I had Louis de Cuba, which is a cool promoter, but at the time he was just trying to rob me. So that was the second time that Shannon and I was supposed to meet. And then, it just fell out, man. We never connected or hooked up.
Well, you do realize because you're active and he's active right now, and you guys are both trying to move up in the rankings, and he's actually number 17th in the U.S. And like I said, you're 25th. That you guys could still actually fight.
Oh yeah, but you know what though? I don't think that's the direction he's trying to go to because he's trying to annihilate and discredit Frisco right now. So that's his goal. It all depends on what the fighter's goal. So that's his goal. He wants to fight the younger brother. So I mean, I don't discredit him and what his attempts and what he's trying to do. So yeah, absolutely. If there's an opportunity, here's how I look at it. If the fight is basically good for the future, then yes, make the fight. So therefore, if I can fight the guy, Shannon, and position myself to fight Crisco right next, then yes, make the fight. You know what I'm saying? But if I fight the guy, Shannon, and then it goes nowhere after that, then it's hopeless. It's useless to take that fight.
Okay.
But since we're still active, fights only make sense if we can connect the dots that leads to greater things, you know what I'm saying?
Another guy I wanted to bring up that you never fought, and he's actually still active right now, and you could possibly still end up fighting him, is Freza Kendo.
Oh, yeah, Fred. Is Fred still active?
Yep.
Okay, that's good, man. That's good. For Fred, well, like I said, Fred is, I was offered to fight Fred at one point in time, but I guess it wasn't enough interest in regard to I guess money-wise, because I was supposed to fight Fred in Chicago, I believe, at one point in time. But I guess it was an offer, but it just wasn't enough interest.
Okay.
Because I kind of base it off the funding, the money of it. So, it was a small show, and they wanted to get it over, but, small shows, normally don't go small money, so.
Yeah, he's actually ranked number 10 in the U.S. So, like I said, you're 25th, he's number 10. I mean, you could fight him just to move up in the rankings.
Yeah.
And people know both of your names, so... But
that can be a good situation, but like I said,
Okay, I wanted to touch on one more name from the past, and a lot of fans might not understand why you've never fought this individual, and I really didn't understand it either until I did more research. So I want you to just touch base a little bit so the fans understand why that you and Evander Holyfield never fought, because you guys actually have a really close relationship, right?
Yeah.
Can you tell me about that a little bit?
Well, actually, last thing I can share about that situation is that, I used to train under that whole umbrella. So, from that point, my camps were in Houston with him, because he orchestrated the camps for us all the fighters. It was me, Curry, Shabalava, Gary Bell, Jamil McCline, all of us. We were all in the same umbrella, same camp in Houston under Evander Holyfield's camp. So, what happened as I excelled in the training method and also in boxing, I was basically the leader of that crop. And I got married, which basically Redmond was one of the best men in my wedding. And then also, I used to talk to Redmond before every fight. I used to go to his house, the one in Houston, and we'd sit down and talk about certain things, because my experience, I didn't have a pedigree in boxing, so my amateur background was very minimal. And so we could talk about, certain things, his experience and my experience, because how I see things and how he sees things, it's quite different, because therefore there was a pedigree on my behalf. So there's a book on his behalf about his boxing, amateur boxing career. So I was trying to basically get information from him on certain things about not so much about feelings, but just which is almost feelings. But I try to look at it as a feeling, emotional thing. But I was just grabbing information from him at it, because he was very much polished in that area about the game. So it came down to me basically excelling and going on with my career and having a good success. But I also gave the table one time, and I had told my trainer, who was basically the trainer for both of us. He was trained down there. He trained me, and he trained me. So I had told Don in secret, I said, Don, I never fight you back. I couldn't do it. So as I was basically excelling in my career, they brought that offer to the table. I said, why are they doing this? They know that I won't fight them. And because I actually rather had a couple of losses coming down from the mountain, basically from a couple of losses that he was looking tired and everything. And I was like, and now they're trying to match him up with me, which they know that's a fight that I will not take and will not entertain at all. So, and Don Turner at the time was not training me back there. But I told Don, I said, he's training me. I said, Don, I still will not fight you, man, because he's been a good dude to me, man. So he's been a really good person overall to me. That's not a fight that I can take. So it was almost like the Vitaly and Vladimir situation. Because I was looking at him as a mentor, so to speak, because he knew the game, and he had me do a lot of the challenges that I had when I see certain situations. So I was like, okay. So therefore, when the opportunity was offered, I just denied and turned it down. So I couldn't go through with it.
Okay. So I want to jump a little bit forward here in your career. Now, you fought Francis Botha, you win a world title, and then you take 18 months off. Why?
Well, no, I didn't take 18 months off at all. I was actually trying to fight. But I guess they couldn't get the money for them to fight Franco Boca. And that sucked about the situation, man, because I was sitting there kind of waiting on a fight. And the promoters, they couldn't put nothing together. That pissed me off, man. I was sitting back, just training, and they had no fight lined up because they was trying to book the rematch for me and Franco Boca. So I waited, 6 months, 8 months, and then we got something going on. We got some investors do it. So they pushed another 4 months off the table. I'm like, what's going on now? What's going on? So now there's a year invested, but no rematch going on, at all. So it just started stretching, man. Because now every time I try to position myself for a fight, because the contract states that there's a contract in place about me and Ben Franco Open doing the rematch. So you can't do anything until that contract clause is over. So the rematch basically from the WBF was issued that I must fight Franco Open before any fight with the title. So they had to stretch it out and say, hello, 18 months. That was the whole contract into it because there was a rematch clause.
Okay. Yeah, I was just kind of curious. It didn't make a lot of sense to me. That's why I was just curious what you had to say about that. Do you have any superstitions or rituals or habits that you do before a fight?
Well, other than give God the glory, it's not a superstition though. I just basically give him the glory, man, and I say God bless you to my opponent.
Okay. So let's I want to touch briefly on some of these new U.S. heavyweights and hear what you think about them and if you plan on fighting any of these guys. Are you familiar with Amir Mansour?
Amir Mansour, no, I'm not.
Okay, he's out of Philadelphia. He's actually ranked like 31st, and he's ranked number 8th in the U.S. and like 31st in the world. And then, how about Malik Scott?
Yes, actually, I'm very familiar with Malik.
Do you have any intentions on fighting Malik?
Well, with Malik, I understand the person Malik is. First of all, Malik is not a puncher at all, and I think that. Was that opportunity on the table when we tonight? I don't think it was. It's just that it was a direction that Malik didn't want to go in because I sparred with Malik once before, and I guess that once we started sparring, that opportunity kind of faded away after the sparring. But yeah, I know Malik very well. We've been in several camps together.
Okay.
So, Amir, I'm not familiar with, but Malik Scott, I'm very much so familiar with.
Okay, what about Deontay Wilder? I read a quote that he wasn't very happy that he was compared to you. How do you feel about that?
Well, I would think he want to be his own man, so it's cool. But he understands the world's going to be the world, so he can't control the world. He can be part of it, or basically be separate away from it. So he can't control it. And I'm not upset at all that he likes to be compared to me because I wouldn't want him to be compared. I wouldn't want to be compared to him as well. So, but it's cool because he doesn't have a pedigree as well, but he's a fighter man that can he's making some noise in the industry, and he does not, like I said before, he does not have a pedigree, but all his what he's accomplished and everything work well like that. Everything is going to be tested. It's going to be tested more.
Okay, well, I'm gonna end the interview on this last one. Everybody knows tonight, January 17th, that Bermir, Berman Stavern and Deontay Wilder are fighting for a title tonight. What is your pick and your thoughts on this fight, Michael Grant?
Wow. Athletic ability alone with this mother fight is not really based on, but a lot of it comes from it. Deontay has the athletic ability, but the heart we don't know. I know that's the brain is the heart, so it can be talent versus heart. I know Stavern has that heart because I've spoken with Stavern, and I had to throw some monster shots, and he hung in there, and he stayed in there, and he was fighting back. So Stavern, in regards of endurance, he definitely can endure and weather the storm on some situations now. But keep in mind, 10-ounce gloves can tell the truth as well. We was born with 18 ounce and 20 ounce. So 10-ounce gloves, big story. But still, just the fact that he withstood the monster shots that I threw him, Stavern there. That he gave me enough information about himself to know that he can win the storm of Deontay Wilder. I'm sure of it. All depends on, I mean, what it's going to come down to is another people who the better camp.
Okay.
The better camp. And I got to say this, Deontay Wilder, I know he's not going to everybody between 1 and 3 rounds, but like I text someone earlier and said, listen, 1 or 3 rounds is really good for meet and greet for later on, but it messes up the future if towards someone who wants to go the distance for that person. So if a person that he fights goes the distance where he's not experiencing, it's going to throw him off. They're going to do it more big time. So Stavern, he has that capability of going distance with you, and he pot shots in certain areas where his speed can be aggressive later on in the rounds. So if we go late in the fight, I go with Stavern. If we go early, I go with Deontay.
All right, well, you've heard it here from Michael Grant. There's your pick for the night. Well, thank you, Michael Grant. I appreciate the interview, and the truth has spoken.